All right. Look at that, and focus and everything. Nice to see you again. It's been about 7 weeks since mikeroweWORKS was officially launched on Labor Day, and I'm sorry it's taken so long to get back to you. Dirty Jobs got real busy, really, really busy. In fact, I just came from a walnut farm, and I'm headed to a rendering plant tomorrow up here in Marysville, California. I think it's a Comfort Inn, if you're interested. Very glamorous. But I did want to take a second just to check in and bring you up to speed on a couple of things. First order of business is to say thank you. The feedback that's come into this site has been overwhelming. And every time I wanted to check back over the last couple of weeks, the topography changed, and somebody else would contact me, and I figured I'd have something new to tell you. Basically, CEOs and presidents of companies are all over this thing. I've also been contacted by retired generals from the military, if you can believe that. Everybody from the Boy Scouts of America to the Navy. The issues of declining trades and infrastructure really are near and dear to a lot of people. So we've spent some time. I say we, I've actually hired some people to go through the feedback so far. And it basically goes into two different categories. You've got what I call the missionary position and the mercenary position. The mercenary position consists of anything really that involves money. There are a lot of people who are looking to hire skilled tradesmen, and a lot of unskilled tradesmen who have contacted me who are interested in learning a skill but don't really know where to go or who to pay to make that happen. And I don't know what to say to that. That seems to me to be the function of a job site, and maybe this site will have an element of that in the future, but I don't really know how to do it. We're looking into it. The missionary position, however, is something I do know a thing or two about, and it's something that you might be able to help with right now. The feedback that I've mentioned has already got this started, and the conversations that have been going on over on the Dirty Jobs website have been an even better example of what brainstorming can do in this regard. What I mean is, right now there are hundreds, maybe thousands of nonprofit organizations and associations and initiatives all across the country that concern themselves with helping people get into the trades. Apprenticeships and scholarships and the like, they're everywhere. Some are attached to large corporations and work as nonprofits. Others are standalone. Too many to begin to mention, but you've started to mention them, and it occurs to me that maybe the logical thing to do in the Wikipedia style is to start creating a reference. So a visitor to this site in a state-by-state way can understand what's available for them where they live. It's a big undertaking, but we can organize it on this end, and if the ideas keep coming in on your end, it'll give us a good place to start. So we've set up a forum here on mikeroweWORKS to do that as well. You can continue to chat over in the mudroom if you'd prefer. It really doesn't matter. But I just wanted to make sure that the missionary position and the mercenary position were understood, and that my focus, for now anyway, is going to be in the missionary style. In the meantime, look, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but the reason we talk so much about the infrastructure and the trades on Labor Day, aside from the obvious association, was because neither candidate was. And this is one of the first articles that was sent to me. The day after this site went up, somebody posted this. Basically, you can see the headline: "Infrastructure goes unloved at U.S. conventions." I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but listen to this. "Not far from the site of a deadly Minnesota bridge collapse, infrastructure investment was hardly mentioned when Republicans gathered to nominate John McCain for president. A similar story at the Democratic National Convention in Denver. Barack Obama accepted his party's presidential nomination with a speech that spoke only in vague passing of rebuilding the infrastructure in U.S. cities." Neither one of these guys has really made the infrastructure an issue. The expert in this article, a guy called Norm Anderson, says, infrastructure is not among the top 5 priorities for either candidate, possibly because it isn't first and foremost in the voters' minds either. And I seriously wonder, because now over the last 6 or 7 weeks, both of them are talking about the infrastructure. I don't know where they stand specifically on it. Neither has proposed a specific plan that I can tell, and nobody's really talking about the role of the declining trades, at least in a political way. But it kind of seems like they are, and what I mean is I'm seeing lots of this. Time magazine I found on a plane flying home from somewhere, and there are guys, look at them, all dressed up. McCain's got his shovel and a little hard hat, and Barack's got his steel-toed shoes and a sledgehammer, and all dressed up for work. And why do they do this? I mean, every 4 years, the people who are trying to get elected at the last minute try so hard to connect with whatever it is they call the working class. Remember Hillary doing shots of rye with those steel workers in that barn in Pennsylvania or wherever it was? They saw right through that, and I'm thinking people are probably going to see right through this as well. Now, to be fair, they're talking about ways to fix up America through a volunteer program, and I think it's a great idea. Mandatory national service is something that, I mean, why not? There's a lot of good that could come from it. But that's not jobs, really. And that's not specifically targeted toward the infrastructure per se. We just spent $850 billion to try and straighten out an economy that most of us can't even begin to understand. We've got a $2 or $3 trillion infrastructure problem, and I don't know what sort of plans exist for it. So if you're looking for something else to talk about here in the forum, it'd be personally helpful to me if you have an opinion on which candidate feels stronger about the trades, if there are bills or propositions that are pending that might help cut through some of that, because I've read every line of this, and I've read about 1,000 articles like this, and a lot of people say a lot of nice things, but for the life of me, I can't figure it out. Anyway, I've been talking for 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and that's about 4 minutes too long. So thanks again for listening. I'll check back soon. Next week, I've got a meeting with a retired Major General from the United States Marine Corps who wants to talk about unemployment rates vis-a-vis returning GIs and the way they can plug in to mikeroweWORKS and some of these apprenticeships that we're talking about. So, the missionary position. That's your mission.